Hello, it's Monday again, and it is Motivational Monday by Jim and Lucy. And we do have a very interesting subject for you today. We talk about uncertain times that call for uncommon leadership. We know everything changed, times change, situations change, and right now with all the things going around us, we have a lot of thoughts in our minds, and leadership is something that keep us and keep other people not just motivated, but being able to proceed, move forward, to change, to adapt, and build the strengths again.
Yes, it is. And in order to get the most, I don't want this to sound the wrong way, but in order to get the most, in order to make this pandemic, this period serve you, then you have to develop an uncommon sense of leadership in yourself for your family members as well. And this is going to help you on your job, and especially in your relationships in other places, because you have to take the initiative now. You have to get a job. You have to maintain a job. None of these things are secured. In fact, I'm kind of like Jerry Seinfeld when he once said that talked to George about getting a job. I rarely have had a job. I went out and created a job, and I like to think that's what a lot of the really great business schools teach their graduates is to don't wait sending out a bunch of resumes. Go out there and create something. Now we're all not able to do that, but we all we all have to look for new ways when the old ways no longer work. And that's wonderful, because now you have to get excited and say, what can we do? Well, in this day and age, there's a lot that you can do. But one of the things that keep a lot of us hampered is pride. Now, the great author, C.S. Lewis, penned a quote that said, "Pride gets no pleasure out of having something, only out of having more of it than the next man." We want to make sure that as we climb to the top, that we dig ourselves out of the situation where we are right now. Maybe you're facing eviction, or the car is going to be repossessed, and I know what that feels like. I've been in both of those situations before. Maybe you're facing bankruptcy right now, or you know that maybe in the next few months your company may have become so accustomed to having you out of the office that now they're going to do away with jobs. One report said they're going to be doing away perhaps with 49-50% of jobs. It may even be more of that. It's not because someone doesn't like you. It's just because conditions have changed now. We all have to change with them. So one of the things it says that when we run into trouble, delighting in being richer than our neighbors, or more athletic than our friends, or better looking than other people, is a sign of pride. So contrary to our fallback method of leadership, influence and power comes from humble admission of service, inspiring people from the heart. You want to find a way now to inspire your family members, to especially inspire yourself and gather yourself so you can contribute and you become sellable. You are a brand. Just like Oreos, Nabisco, Clorox, like anything else, you are a brand. And you want to make sure your brand is recognized as valuable, something that has something more to offer to other people. I found an article in Chief Executive Magazine by Morat Lucy that says that during times of uncertainty, employees are looking for their leaders to set the tone. And you can imagine this in your own family. They need to know their leaders have their backs. They need to feel inspired and motivated to navigate the storm. And they need to trust that their leaders are beside them every step of the way. And trust is built through transparency. So whatever you're doing, don't hide it. Don't make yourself a victim. Don't make other people a victim, that if this hadn't happened, or if you hadn't done this, we wouldn't be here. No. This is where everybody get up, admit to what happened, take responsibility for what happened, and now charge out and make something different.
Now, that's right. Humility is not a sign of weakness. In fact, it's just an opposite. A humble leader knows their power comes from source that greater than themselves. That's how it works. how rare it is for people to speak of humility, and the same verse as leadership. Leadership is determined, result-oriented, and tenacious.
Yes, many of the great leaders often discussed are in our history books or many times in business meetings are known for their fierceness. Humility would seldom be the word to describe them in any conversation. But we view humility, that's because we see humility or meekness as a sign of weakness as opposed to be as a sign of strength. That's where the real power is. Yet when we ponder all the traits of great leaders, humility is the one trait we would like to see passed on. It makes all the other characteristics fall in submission. Last night, Lucy and I here, just the two of us, happened to watch Tom Hanks in Mr. Rogers. Now, I debated if I wanted to have a more action-oriented movie, as you can say, figuratively, all right, as opposed to Mr. Rogers. But we watched the movie because I had always felt that Mr. Rogers is a person that I wanted to be like. You know, not so much in business in a bad sense. I mean, I want to be hungry and fierce and go after things. But Mr. Rogers is a person who had this kindness, humility, and all. And you could see that by saying that, it meant that I was in conflict with the meekness and humility of Mr. Rogers and going after and grabbing all the business that we want. So the author of which this story was written from, his wife approached the author and she said, "Don't misunderstand. He's not like that all the time. He has his moments because he's human." And then the author said to Mr. Rogers over dinner, "It must be hard being your children, your two boys, because the spectrum that they have to live up to." And Mr. Rogers then described how it was for his sons that for a long period they didn't tell anyone that was literally Mr. Rogers was their dad, because they had a conflict themselves of being uneasy in a perfect centered, if you will, home, or the home wasn't always as being perfect as described. So you see, we're all having some battles to do and being the leader that we want to become and being humble at the same time. But what did his wife say? She said he worked at it all the time. So bear that in mind. If you find yourself falling or stumbling, that you're not perhaps the leader or the person you want to be, and you say, "Okay, I got to shirk it off and do over," don't beat yourself up. Just give up and work at it again. Being a great husband isn't a job you get in one giant leap like Superman. You keep working at it and working at it. Right, honey?
Exactly. And one more thing. The wise leader is the one that gives people credit. They're made to view their accomplishment as vital to the team, and not just to the team like in terms of corporate team in business, but it can be family, can be your team. Two people can be a team. You yourself starting your own business or new career, you are already a team yourself, one only. And humble leaders do not need to separate humility from achieving business outcomes. They just happen as a result of setting clear goals, raising expectations, and caring. And same with other type of teams, as we just mentioned before. If you are a solo team, or the two of you and your spouse are the team, the family is a team. Same, you have to have clear goals. And the leader sets those clear goals. And not necessarily the leader will be the boss, you know?
True. I may look like I'm the leader here, but I know who the boss is. That's what Lucy is getting to. This is just a little reminder.
Okay. Exactly. No, not necessarily. I mean, two of you can be leaders. We're having hard times sometimes because we do have our temper, each of us, and we both are a leader by the nature, and sometimes it can be quite bumpy journey.
Well, it can be. I mean, I get upset. I have a right to get upset sometimes because the ketchup is always red. Okay? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what bothers me the most.
And I have to deal with it without getting upset. So we all have our moments, but we all have to make an impact, the good one, as leaders.
That's right. But our charge for you today is to recognize is that whatever position you've had in a company that you have left or that you're currently working at, you have to find a way to step up to the plate. I hate to use that term, it's jargon, especially in America, but I want you to recognize that you have to do more than you've ever done before. Not work faster, but work more creatively, more innovatively. You got to find new ways. It doesn't matter what your job was. I don't mean there's not a demeaning job, but whatever it was before, you got to change your resume. You got to look for a job online. You got to do all these things, and you can't long for what you thought used to be the good old days, because at that time, what you thought was the good old days 20 years ago, it wasn't for somebody else 20 years ago, and it wasn't for someone 40 years ago, or 80 years ago, or 100 years ago. Life has always been changing, and there's always been disruptions by nature, competition, products, inventors, politicians, everything. Benjamin Franklin even wrote about this long before 1776. So you got to find a new way. That's the new beginning. Take a deep breath of fresh air and say, if there's someone going to shake it and make it happen, it's going to be me.
And everything will be changing all the time. Life is not still something that you see. I mean, it's not like, what's the name of that movie? You're good with titles, where the black and white that become colored movie on Instant Pleasantville.
Pleasantville,
Exactly.
yes.
So it's not the ideal place that even that ideal place changed. So when you got into your ideal place in life that you enjoy everything, you still have to know that everything will change. And we want you to be not just ready, we want you to be unique, because you are special and you deserve the best.
Yes, what seems like a punishment from nature isn't always a punishment. It's sometimes a kick in the pants, so it's a way to compel us to go forward and see things better again. This is your chance.
It is Monday, and it's Motivational Monday by Jim and Lucy. We are here for you every, as you know, Monday to motivate you to make this week the greatest one.
Hey, reach out to us, all right? We have some tools that can help you. This podcast is just one resource, but we can help you. Give us a phone call at 1-720-923-1644, and we'll help you. Take care.
Check out our Pattern program, and we'll see you next Monday.
Bye-bye.